Hello, welcome back.
Hiya.
So basically we're going to talk today a bit about red flags, specifically to do with buyers. But we will, first off the bat, we will just show you what we've sold over the weekend. And then we will be talking about some common red flags that we've noticed amongst buyers and the sort of stuff to look out for, especially if you are new to selling on eBay. So in total across the whole weekend we made £354.45. eBay, that was £286.60. Etsy, it was £51.75, and Vinted, it was £16.10. So all added up, just over 350 quid.
Not bad.
Yeah, so we'll start with the eBay stuff.
Yes.
Most of which I don't know what it is. I do, however, know what that is.
Okay, we had an auction. My mum gave us this because she didn't want it anymore, and it's a signed picture of Ernie Wise, of Morecambe and Wise. We didn't know how much it was worth, so we popped it on as an auction. You can see it's all written there. And that's went on auction for £19 plus post. So that's not too bad.
We also sold this Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and this is the hardback hardback edition with a dust cover. It's American, and I believe it's the first edition of the American. Is it? It's the first American edition that came out in July 2005. Yeah. And that went actually for £13, and then add the postage, so about £13.39 for that, or £13.50.
Next is this Playmobil Castle part set. It's got a cannon and little people and all that stuff. We picked this up from a jumble sale locally in a big box of Playmobil, so this doesn't owe us anything. That went for £12.50.
Yeah. So then we had one of these, and we showed you these recently in a video. A load of Killstar creepjes, and these have the tags, but they don't have the bags. And I'm a poet, and I just didn't know it. So basically, this went for £29.50, which I think is one of the more expensive ones.
Slightly more.
But, so some of them can go for near on 100. So we're talking 78 quid, but this is one of the sort of 30 quid ones. And so £29.50 plus the postage for him, and it is called, in case you wonder, Anubis, and it's a limited edition. This is number 232 of 3,000. So,
and he's adorable.
Well, he's all right, and he's not one of the cuter ones, I would say, but subjective and all that.
This is a wrestling figure, and he's called, I can't remember what his name was. Keith. Jimmy Uso. And he's got his little hat on and stuff, and he's one of the elite ones. When buying wrestling figures, look out for the ones with the articulated waist, because those ones are usually elite and worth more. But he sold for £30 within about half an hour of me listing him. So
you got a bundle recently, didn't you? And you've been busy putting them all on.
I paid £50 for a bundle. This 30 quid, so that bundle owes me very little, and I've still got stuff to list.
So next is Fantasia stuff, and these are reissues, because obviously the original Fantasia dates back to like the very early part of last century, whereas these are the reissues of a booklet and poster, a poster magazine actually. So the booklet is Walt Disney's Fantasia in Technicolor, and it is essentially just all sort of different scenes and just little bits and pieces about Fantasia. So that is the booklet. And then you've got the Fantasia magazine thing here, which is actually, it has a little bit about Fantasia on one side, and then the other side is a poster. So you've got all writing about Fantasia. And then you open the fella up, and I'm going to have to stand back for this because it is a big poster, but basically there is your poster. So that is the Fantasia poster, and these two things went together for £6.17 for the pair.
And we've had them for ages. We've got them in a bunch of programmes from auction, which owe us nothing now.
I mean, interestingly enough, that's inflation. It might not sound like much, but this went for 60p when it came out in the 70s, so there you go, a bit of inflation for you. And it's in full colour. But yes.
I recently picked up a load of belts, wrestling belts, figures and stuff. And this is the United States Championship belt for little kiddies. This went for full price at £15 plus post. And it's not obviously not like the proper belt, it's a kid's one.
Yes, so then we have, did this go on eBay?
Yes.
Good. And this is an ABBA The Singles, the first 10 years double cassette album. So that is the front cover, with ABBA having a bit of a laugh as something off to their right hand side. It probably looks...
Me?
Yeah, there you go. They're like, ha. But yes, so it's got both cassettes in it. And that one. So basically, for this, excuse my phone pinging in the background. However, this went for £5.
Yeah, plus postage. Yes, next we've got, I'll do these two together because they went to the same person. This was also in the bundle with belts and stuff that I got. And they're Eagle Moss, and it's Bret the Hitman Hart and The Undertaker. Absolute classic wrestlers. And these are figurines. And in the back there's like a little magazine. There you go. And those went to the same person for £15 each. So £30 all in, well, £30 plus post.
Right, so this. Did these go on
Etsy?
They went on Etsy, right, okay, fair enough. There might be some more figures that you've got this fellow.
Yeah. Virgil.
Yeah.
Listed him yesterday. He sold on offer within about 3 hours for £7.50, so they had 50p off. He's one of the ones from the early 90s, the best ones in my opinion.
And you do the wrestlers, because I got no clue.
This is Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal. Those went a little while ago. I put them on this morning and they're sold in a couple of hours on offer for £12.50. So, cool.
Yes. Yeah, they were fairly quick sale, weren't they, this morning?
What else was there? Was there anything else? Transformers. Where's he gone?
Yeah, a
Protecto-bot thing. I couldn't figure out how it all went together, so I just photographed it like it was. Oh, there he is, look. I'm rubbish with Transformers.
Well, I see your Protector bot, and I raise you my little car.
Yours is a bit older.
Mine is older. Yeah, mine's 1986.
This is 2015, so... And he went for £8 on offer. He was from the stuff we got from the toy auction before Christmas.
Yeah, to be fair, I used to have one of these when I do you know what I say, to be fair, quite a lot, don't I? Basically, I do, yes. You know what I mean? But I did have one of these when I was a kid. And God knows where it ended up. But as an adult, I rebought it. So that's essentially a 1986 Transformer. That's what he did.
Me.
Nice and easy to take this one apart. Apparently not to put it back together.
So that is all the eBay orders, I believe. Oh, no, it's not.
Really?
Did I forget our best one? Where's the little guy? This is Boss Hogs. Boss Hogs, and he was from Dukes of Hazzard, and we got him from the toy auction before Christmas as well, with his little cigar and his little hat, and he sold on offer for £40. So not bad.
Yes. So that is all the eBay sales that we've had over the weekend. So shall we move swiftly on to
Vinted, because it's the top there, look.
So the I'll start with him then. So this is we got bundle recently from a toy auction, and they had a load of Funko Pops in amongst all the stuff. Do you still have some of those to go on? So you've still got quite a lot left to go on. But
there's a lot on already. They're not selling.
However, this one did, and this is a C3PO concept series, number 423.
And you went for £5 English pounds.
Yes, and so there is every side of the box, in case you're an enthusiast of everything Funko, and the bottom of the box as well, because you know how people love to analyse these things to make sure they're real. So yes, that went for £5.
Yes. This is a Spider-Man mask, and I don't know where this came from. I can't remember. But it's for Build-A-Bear, so that's what the little holes are for his ears. And this went for £1 on Vinted.
Yes,
We're not gonna retire on that. But
one huge English pound for him. So then the rhino. You haven't
he's so cute.
You haven't written down how much that fella went for, have you? That's just
£4.
So anyway, this is a rhino, and he's a Ravensden Suma collection, with the tag on there. He has been on eBay since the dawn of time. Now, when we moved into this office, it was last May, and basically we had him before then, and he's come with us. So he has been on eBay for a very long time, and then he went on Vinted, cross-listed presumably on Vinted, and he went for £4 English.
But there's no fees on that, so
no. We have two big tubs behind us full of plushies, and they are the detritus of some auction pickups that we used to get. This happened to be one of the auction pickups, so
it's all profit.
We shifted in.
So if you see any of our soft toys on any of our platforms that you want, send us an offer, and we're most likely to accept it if it's reasonable.
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh?
Yes, probably. Let's have a look. So next,
he's gorgeous.
It just says Winnie.
He went for £3, which I think is an absolute bargain. But he's gorgeous, isn't he?
He's really soft, and he was another auction lot. So he probably may have come in the same bundle as the rhino.
Yeah, don't know where he came from, but £3, fine. Whatever.
Yeah. And next is, this says the Draper pressure washer.
My dad gave this to us for nothing, and it goes on a pressure washer, and it's a patio cleaner, so it's a plasticky thing. And it goes on, I don't know what it does to it, if I'm perfectly honest. But this went for £3.
Presumably what it does is it goes on the end of your actual pressure washer, so it's some sort of accessory you can put on the end of it, so that you can have a bigger surface area cleaning your patio.
You can tell he does the household stuff, can't you? But £3, and it was free to us, so it's £3 pure profit, which is lovely.
Yes. And this last but not least on Vinted, at the very least, is
he's so cute.
Another Ravensden, and this is a small otter. And I don't think this is one of the ones that doesn't make any noise. He's obviously looking up at something, presumably a seal cub. Don't look that up. Yes, apparently they're meant to be quite cruel to the seals. Anyway, so this has got it hasn't got its tags, but it has a little collar, and this collar is gnarled, is the only way I can put it. Again, this was in an auction pickup of plushes. He also has actually a little bit of stuff on the on his back as well. And he went for
£2.
entirety. No, he went for £1.10.
Oh, £1.10.
An entirety of £1.10p for him.
That's all of them, isn't it?
That's all of them, yeah.
Apart from the Etsy's.
And that's 3 of them.
Yep. I won't show you all 3, but this is basically one. And they're Hornsey Saffron cup and saucer from the 1970s. And we had about, 6 or 7 of these. So someone in Australia has snapped up 3 of them. So they'll be going today for £34.78 by the look of it. Oh, no, sorry, £23.67. Isn't it?
97. £23.97, and then with the postage and the tax, they paid in total £38.26 for 3 cups and saucers.
But they are lovely.
Mad. Right, anyway, so we have, I say mad, but at the end of the day, this is all money, isn't it? And you can't really sniff at it. But these, you can pinch at it instead, and this is a pair of sugar tongs, and they're called Eagle Claw because, well, guess. They're antique stroke vintage, because I wasn't 100% sure on age, considering I couldn't find the exact pair. However, there are ones to compare to. And they are EPNS, which is sterling silver. So they, God, it's my ankle clipped. So basically, yeah, you have there the embossed little thing which says EPNS, which is the type of all the, you know, metal, and they were $16.99 actually, to cut a long story short. They're going to is it New Cleveland, and they $16.99, £15.50 postage for those little fellas. And then tax, £29.31 they paid for them.
I think all of our sales on Etsy are going abroad.
To be fair, for Etsy, abroad is they're really good sales to abroad. And I do find this with Etsy, is the vast majority of the better sales that go abroad.
Yeah.
And touch wood, we haven't as yet had major issue except the once. Yes. When there was a ornamental lighter, and it was a Waterford crystal one, and basically it got returned from customs because they said it couldn't be sent over to Northern Ireland. So that's the only sort of issue we've had so far, really. But obviously I've jinxed it, so there you
go. Next thing is going to Canada, and it's another one of those cup and saucers. So I don't need to show it again. It's just another one of those.
And how much did it go for?
It went for £7.99. £15 postage and
£15.50 postage.
What did I say?
15, and then with the tax and everything, £22.57. So last but not least is a Falconware silver jug, and it's very pretty.
We've had it for ages. I don't even remember. I know it came from the auction that we used to get stuff from, but I don't remember when.
So this is a Falconware Silvac jug. It says 360 green.
360 is the pattern number on the bottom.
Okay, so let me hold it properly so that people who are into their ceramics don't lose their shit over it. 360 there on the bottom, and it's 16cm tall picture vase, vintage floral, England. So on and so forth. Went for $24.99 actually, and this was to Illinois.
So another
American sale.
We love our American people.
At the moment there is still a shop discount, so they are still getting a bit of money off. But they then paid $15.50 postage, which is about standard for our internationals. And then with tax, they paid £36.37. So they really wanted that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Which is fair enough, because we really wanted to sell it. So,
yes.
you know. Right, so that was the weekend sales, and wasn't too bad. Across through 3 platforms.
Considering it was January, you know.
Yeah. However, now, we mentioned at the beginning that we're going to just talk about some red flags with buyers and the sorts of things. This is all pre-selling anything. So this is not somebody who's bought something and then is, you know, basically asking loads and loads of questions and being very particular. This is about the sorts of things that you might encounter from a buyer before they've even bought anything.
Yes. So I'll put up on the screen here a message that we had from a prospective buyer over the weekend.
Yes, I mean, this you probably have seen this on Instagram already, but this is the kind of thing that is a bit of a red flag when it comes to somebody and what they might be like when they have bought stuff off of you and stuff. Now, the fact of the matter is that this is a very strange bit of communication, because if they're asking, do you have something? Now, we don't have a lot of stuff similar to the things that we list. We don't have a lot of everything that is similar to these things in reserve. You know, you have wrestling figures at the moment. You have a lot that are to be listed. Mm-hmm. If they ask something similar about, do you have this particular wrestler, you may have it.
Exactly.
But
fair enough.
The issue is that stuff that we've listed, we don't have loads of these things laying around. And so if you say to a prospective buyer, basically, no, we don't have that particular thing in stock, you would think they'd say, okay, fair enough, I will look elsewhere. Now, this particular person didn't seem to think that way, and they just simply stated, why? Why? And that was it. That was just why. Okay, so anyone with, you know, who might have some logic to them would say, okay, well, they don't have it, someone else would. And they may not respond to you and they might go looking somewhere else. But he questioned why we don't. Now, surely it is pretty apparent if we don't have it, it's because we don't have it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's essentially the gist, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I just found it a bit strange, but it is these little things that you get from people sometimes that kind of, and I'm sure a lot of resellers would say the same thing. You do get a bit of a gut feeling when you have buyers or people who might become a buyer message you things like this in the first instance before they've even bought anything. And that does make you kind of go, what are they going to be like if they become a buyer? If I was to convert whatever this is to a sale, what are they going to be like? And I do know, looking on, there are subreddits devoted to selling on eBay.
And Facebook groups.
Yeah, and they all pretty much have this same kind of approach to this. Is that basically you do get the, you know, you do get this gut feeling with people, and that maybe you should just step back from this sale or potential sale if that's what you feel like. If you feel they're going to be difficult, because if they're being massively difficult with asking you all kinds of little intricate questions, one of the red flags I find is when you have something listed and they ask you questions that are already answered by the listing.
Yeah.
It does kind of make you wonder, because I know a lot of people don't read listing descriptions, but you do kind of get this impression like, well, surely in the time it took for you to message me, you could have actually read that description anyway.
But why, Alexis? Why?
Yeah, why? Why would I even insinuate these things? Why? But yeah, so it's all these little red flags. What other red flags have we had from people? We've had quite a few things over the years. Oh, there was one guy, actually. I listed an antique barometer, and somebody in Australia immediately, because it was on auction, immediately put in an offer of £100. And I think you got quite excited by the thought of selling this for £100. But I did a bit of digging on their profile and on their feedback and everything, and there was just something that didn't add up. It didn't feel quite comfortable, if you know what I mean. I think they had a fairly new account and it was fairly low feedback, and you just do, I know everyone has to start somewhere, and this doesn't apply to everybody who's only just joined or has a low feedback score, but there are a lot of accounts, there are a lot, and you've got to admit there are a lot where they join and then they are a trouble buyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they tarnish that reputation of new buyers for everyone else who's only just started. And it is a shame. Yeah. Really.
I mean, when we first started, I was a bit more eager to please, and I would respond to these requests, you know, all manners of, you know, all hours of the evening and into the midnight and stuff. People asking random questions about what size is this and what colour's that and blah, 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 blah.
There was no cut off for these things, was there, at that stage?
But now, if my spidey senses start tingling that this person's going to be a pain in the arse, I will simply just block them.
I think I definitely did convince you of the beauty of having that block button, really.
And we have watched a few other resellers who say exactly the same. If it doesn't seem right, or they seem like they're going to be a complete pain in the arse, just block them, move on, because you know you just don't have the time to deal with these people.
And you do tend to find that people who ask a hell of a lot of questions prior to buying something are probably going to turn out to be people who then ask a hell of a lot of questions about where is my item, I don't think it's gone to the right place, what has happened, and then when they receive it, should it have this, should it have that, is this missing? And you do tend to find there's a lot like that. Now I did a while back, I was reading up, I think again it was on Reddit, and somebody had put, I think it was more about Vinted, but you do get this a bit on Vinted as well, don't you? I think it's pretty much, you know, every platform really you get stuff like this. Depop as well, and I know.
Yeah. My son had issues on Depop over the weekend with scammers, didn't they?
Trying to take it off platform.
Yeah, they said that the pictures weren't loading. So could you message me some pictures to my email address? WhatsApp. Yeah. You know, so straight away it's like.
Red flag. WhatsApp, if they try and take the conversation onto WhatsApp, that is a red flag. From what I was saying, There was on, I think it was the Vinted subreddit, somebody was saying, you know, I've got this buyer who basically keeps asking me loads of questions, and then I answered them, I sold the thing to them, and now they're asking me loads of questions about the postage, and they are basically becoming a massive neurotic over where their item is and when it's going to be with them and how long it's going to take. And they said, this is getting a bit much for me. And someone underneath said, they're probably autistic. No, not necessarily. There are a hell of a lot of people out there who are massively anxious, neurotic people about stuff. Or they are just very kind of like pushy about things. It doesn't mean to say that they are any particular group of people. This applies to so many different people in the world that you can't just make that sweeping generalization about one group of people. And I read it and was like, how can you particularly say it's one group of people? But you do get a lot of people.
A lot of generalising.
A lot of people who basically are all, you know, of different types of personalities, and they are all, some of them are just very anxious about things. Other people are very pushy about things. Some people are very angry as well, because I've definitely seen some of that as too on our eBay.
I think we've all been ruined by Amazon Prime is the problem. And when people shop on eBay with, you know, small businesses like us, they expect it the next day because that's what Amazon do. So when you say, well, no, I can't do that, they're like, why not?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So yeah, it is one of these things where you will get red flags about people, and if you do find that you get that sinking feeling in your stomach that this person is going to be a nightmare customer if you do end up selling anything, then you, unfortunately, it's a no sale, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes
Our advice is, if you get the feeling they're going to be too much trouble, just block them. You're allowed to. It's your business. Yeah,
and I mean, I have looked through the block list we have on our eBay account, and it is pretty apparent that over the years we have done, but not to an extreme level. And there's some people who have a block list that is miles long. There's some people who only maybe have a few. Ours is about moderate, I would say, probably about right for the length of time we've been on eBay. But yeah, just use it if you need to. If you really, really need to, then just use it. We've used it for people as well after a sale has happened who have then been, just a bit difficult. So that is really there for you to use.
Yeah, it is one of the perks. One of the perks of being your own boss is that you can block people. You know, I've worked in retail, and you get these customers come to the counter, you know, effing and jeffing at you. You can't tell them to go away because it's not your business, but this is your business. So if you don't want to deal with these people, you don't have to. No. It's a win, really.
Because you don't want further on down the line to end up with situations where you are giving refunds, or you've got somebody who is doing the cardinal sin that we're getting really wise to now, which is this, or we have got wise to, which is the partial refunds thing. And the feedback extortion thing, which some people do use to their, what they think is their advantage, but actually because we're that little bit wiser to it now than we used to be, years ago, is that we're not just kind of panicking going, okay, well, I'll give them a little bit of money back and then they go away. It's essentially, I think, what people were using that for. Now it's a case of, if they are difficult after the sale and there's something not right with all different aspects, then you always send tracked, because then you have that. But you can use that. That is something where basically then if they are faffing about over where is it, then you've got that tracking. And also make sure that you don't give the partial refund, you ask for the item back and you give a full refund. That's pretty much the gist, isn't it, now? And a lot of people have wised up to that.
But the majority of people, or majority of our customers, are nice and decent.
Oh, yeah.
And most sales go, without any issues, touch wood.
Yeah, and I'm not saying they are all the same, because they aren't. Again, it's a variety of people out there. You deal with all manner of people. You're dealing with essentially what could be most of the world, or a large, majority of the world. So these are all different people, and they're not all going to be the same. They're not all going to be difficult. In fact, you will probably find they're in the minority, but unfortunately, they're the ones that kind of, you know, they stick with you, don't they, a bit, really.
But I think we'll leave that there.
Yes.
But we could probably go on for ages about that.
Maybe, but, you know.
If you've watched till the end, I'd like to do something a bit different this time, if that's okay, Alexis. Yeah. Our customer, our potential customer who wanted to know why we didn't have any others, answer the question for us below.
Yeah.
Tell us why.
Why don't we have that particular item?
That Tiger electronic item
they wanted.
That they wanted. So tell us why.
Yeah.
Because we don't know.
Yeah, and if it is the fact that we I don't know, ate it, or we threw it in a swamp and the alligators ate it, whatever. Yeah, just answer his question. Yeah, I mean, not to say that we're going to reply to him with the answer.
No, he's been blocked already.
But we will take on board your comments for future
and have
reference.
a good old giggle.
Yeah.
But thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. We're so close to our 850 goal. And then we will do a giveaway, won't we, of some kind.
Yeah, so the 850 goal is the giveaway. Obviously, we would love to get to 1,000 subscribers.
And thanks to everyone who subscribed so far and stuck with us and been watching from the very, very beginning. Yeah. But we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, so also turn on notifications and make sure it's set to all so that you get notified of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.